So it's interesting because what Sunim said is true that he a little shared about his this Kyol Che many times as a monastic, and then because this monks nuns who used to practice in Korean Sampang, they are called kind of Zen monks or nuns. They sit Kyol Che each time, like summer and winter. 3 months each time. So some Sunims sit for 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years, only sitting in Sampang. But I had time for about 4 years like that, almost a whole year round. And then that is true that what I felt was the halfway of Kyol Che, we used to feel quite, difficult, and looking for the end of this Kyol Che. That's very interesting because why do we put ourselves in that kind of situation? we meditate and we do practice to get mind peace, and some kind of rather than this darkness or some desperation, but we all want to get some kind of, some bright energy and some positive, some experience. But why did you come? And does anybody is actually waiting for the end of the retreat? I think it's quite true for almost everyone. Or maybe not, because you guys keep silence. That's great, but why? Why did you do that?
I don't know. Why am I here?
I think there is some kind of notion, probably for every single of us, that this is necessary to get some this ultimate, let's say brightness or some being positive or whatever that you can call it. So that's why, as Sunim said, just we all try to go through that kind of process. There used to be some question why do we actually do this kind of take this hardship, even if we want to be always kind of comfortable and peaceful. And to some people, it may be something like a ascetic kind of activity, this kind of practice. So why do we do that? And sometimes people ask, if someone recommend me or suggest me to do hard practice, physically, he said, maybe more some extra practice, how can I actually realize that that is actually right way to practice or not? So there was some, these 53 teachers in Avatamsaka Sutra, and one of them, there is very interesting, I don't know how his name is called in English, in Korean, Seung Paramun. So this teacher, this bodhisattva do some an ascetic practice. When this boy, Sanjay, saw him first time, he was walking this sword mountain, on the sword mountain. It's filled with this sword. And then there is endless fire is surround this mountain. And then this Seung Baramu sometimes just jump into there, and again back to the sword mountain. This kind of asceticism. So when this boy asked Seung Baramun that for this, how can I practice this Bodhisattva's path and how can I attain this path? And he actually tell him to throw his body into this fire. In Avatamsaka Sutra. What do you think? So sometimes, like some people ask, how can I find some teacher whom I think actually I can believe in 100%? So this kind of story can give you some kind of idea or confusion or conflict. But in the story, actually, when Sanjay, this boy, was thinking in his mind, oh, maybe this is demon. And then maybe this demon tried to actually get me to wrong path. And it starts like, raising lots of doubt. What if I throw into this fire, then I cannot practice anymore because I will lose my body. And blah, blah, blah. And eventually, actually, there's no way for me to attain this path. Then, many heavenly kings or deities, one by one, appear and then tell him that no, this Paramun, Seung Paramun is actually a really great teacher who has attained this some kind of deep samadhi. And then because I heard to him, for example, like one heavenly king say that actually in our realm, we found that we thought we have attained path and we understand everything, and but we see there's no love. There's no more further effort to practice. And around that time, we heard of the voice of this Paramun. We saw what he does. And then we met him, we came, and then he talked to us this and that. And our mind completely opened. So that we really... So this heavenly king or deity appeared to this boy and started talking to him what they experienced. Well, to me, I think this is quite important. This is key that actually you can try to digest when you have some question like that. Or recently, actually, someone asked me during interview, well, how can I find my teacher? Or how can I actually recognize this teacher is actually has a right teaching or authentic enlightenment, such. I think probably all of us had that kind of moment. How will you figure out? And that's why actually I just shared this Hawaiian Sutra, Avatamsaka Sutra, one story. And when Sunim talked about this, extra practice, harder practice, it's very interesting. When you do, like everybody has a different, physical condition. So each one has its own some limit that you can do physically, the practice. But let's say someone's capacity is about this, but they do only maybe making effort to practice about this, like 1/10. But someone's capacity is maybe only half, but they do practice actually almost like maybe fully or 4/5, then the consequence is very different. It's just based on the cause and effect. And then what you wish, I don't know about the money, but about the path, definitely very interesting thing happen. So this ethicism in a kind of a perspective of this Avatamsaka Sutra is about, my interpretation is sincerity. And then all these heavenly kings or deities, they appear and they tell you. When you are not sure about this way of practice or even teacher, see how many people are sitting here. They will be the reflection. And you actually see and kind of get some advice or some, their own experience. And then that's how actually you can really see if this practice works for me or not. Because when we talk about this hard practice, extra practice, unless you have already got your own gut, like maybe Sunim, he said he's almost addicted, which means actually probably he understands the value. And then he understands why he thinks that's very important. But sometimes some people, they really need to go further, but actually they don't really make effort. Or another kind is they do make effort, but because they always have this ego, then maybe also the consequence of their harder practice goes a little wrong, or very wrong. But anyway, if you are about to decide whether you do extra practice or not, because you brought it up, and also expanding that kind of matter to find your practicing tool or even teacher, you can a little digest this point. Try to digest this point, and that may show you some kind of answer. Anyway, before I forget, I try to a little share.